Yes, students, I'll continue with chapter number 5 in this E-class. Today's our first topic is relative poverty. Yes, students, I said that in my next video I'll continue with relative poverty. So over here we have the topic of relative poverty. Now students, relative poverty, the concept of relative poverty specially is used in countries like India. It is argued in context of India that a rapid developing country just like our country, so instead of studying the concept of poverty and poverty line, relative poverty or unequal distribution of income should be studied. Now students, over here we all know about absolute poverty, the minimum consumption expenditure required for satisfying the minimum needs is taken into consideration in, yes, absolute poverty. But in relative poverty, students, income inequality existing in different groups of people is considered. Now we all know that such kind of problems exist in developing countries. Commonly over here in every economy, income disparity, that is, yes, unequal distribution of income is seen, and over here lower income class is considered relatively poor, but natural lower income class जो है वो poor consider होगा in comparison to higher income class. Now over here, in order to study the relative poverty, the society is divided into different income groups and unequal distribution of income is studied. Yes, this is what you can see on the screen, students. The society is divided into income groups, different income groups. The society is divided. Now students, the example that you are seeing on the screen is hypothetical. It means it is, yes, imaginary example. Now over here, population of a country is divided into 5 different groups. So over here, if I start with a comparison, group 1 earns till 30,000, group 2 from 30 to 1 lakh, group 3 from 1 lakh to 3 lakh. So over here, if I compare, then I can say that group 3 earns better than group 1 and group 2. So in comparison, group 1 and group 2 are relatively poor than group 3. Same over here, if I compare group 5 with any other group, then it will be group 5 earns better. It means group 5 is what? Yes, richer than rest of the groups. This is what relative poverty tells us about. Now students, to measure relative poverty, generally formation of income group, Lorentz curve and Gini coefficient are useful. Over here no detail is included regarding it, so yes, I have explained you till that part only. Now students, next I move on to the indicators of poverty. The level of poverty and their components are called indicators, to be very simple and easy. Now over here students, with the help of these indicators we can know the nature and measurement of poverty. Let us start with our very first indicator, which is low per capita household consumption expenditure. Yes, over here students, before explaining this table, let us go through what is written in textbook regarding this. So over here it says that the meaning of per capita household expenditure is, yes, the amount of income a family spends on average consumption of goods and services. On an average, how much a family is spending on consumption of goods and services. Over here it is but natural that it will be calculated on market price of durable goods. You all know what are durable goods with examples. Over here the nation's total spending of such goods is divided by total population. Over here formula is given to you people. Yes, formula of per capita household consumption, that total spending on durable goods, it will be divided by the total population. Now the per capita consumption expenditure of developing countries will be obviously lower than that of the developed countries, क्योंकि वो developed countries हैं तो but natural है उनका जो पर कैपिटा कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर होगा वो कंपैरेटिवली डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज से ज़्यादा होगा. दिस इज व्हाट इज डेपिक्टेड इन द टेबल स्टूडेंट्स. नाउ इफ वी कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन द टेबल यू विल सी US, UK, Japan, Pakistan, China, India. Over here are countries as per the fixed price of 2005 in US dollars. Year 2014 was 725, which is much lower than yes the developed countries like US, UK, Japan. But yes, it is less than China also. So over here we can say that if we are able to increase the household consumption expenditure, then it will indicate that we are progressing. Students, now we move on to our next indicator, that is level of malnutrition. To be very simple and easy, we all know malnutrition is a condition where a person lacks in consumption of calories, proper amount of calories, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, etc. Over here, no doubt, in our country, the agriculture production is increasing, but because of less income, the people are unable to spend on nutritive food. And yes, the other reason is unequal distribution of income. And yes, in the table, you can see the measurement of malnourished people in percentage in different years is given to you people. Students, जो भी टेबल आप लोगों को दिए हुए हैं अपार्ट फ्रॉम येस दैट रिलेटिव पॉवर्टी वाला इंडिकेटर्स में जो भी टेबल दिए हुए हैं ये कोई भी हाइपोथेटिकल एग्जाम्पल नहीं है. इफ़ यू सी द सोर्स इज रिटन विच इज़ येस अ प्रिटी रिलायबल सोर्स and yes you need to learn the figures also. So back to the malnourished people in percentage. So over here students, if you see that yes in the beginning, that is from 1990-92 to 2000-2002, if we see it has reduced, then it increased, then it reduced. So finally, yes, it is 15.2%, but still the percentage is high. Now the other thing that is said over here is, according to FAO 2015 report, the situation of food security in India ranked second in world in measurement of malnourishment, which indicates poverty in India. Yes, over here it is said that we rank second. Now I move on to the next indicator, that is life expectancy and infant mortality rate. You all know the meaning of both the different terms students. Both life expectancy and infant mortality rate are dependent upon yes medical services, the calories, the carbohydrates, vitamins, in short I can say the nutritive food. Especially students life expectancy, it is based on nutritive food, cleanliness, pure drinking water, health services, yes that is what we have already discussed, etc. Now poor people, we all know they are unable to get all these facilities, and so their life expectancy is low. Next, if I move on to infant mortality rate, it depends, apart from the health services, it also depends upon mother's education, vaccination, and yes, obviously the nutritive food. Now over here, life expectancy and infant mortality rate again are given to us in the table form. Over here we can easily compare. If we see life expectancy in years for the year 2014 and infant mortality rate for the year 2014 is given. So if we see especially of our country, the life expectancy as per 2014 was 68 years, whereas infant mortality rate 39, which is much higher than other countries. Next, I move on to medical facilities. Now medical facilities, yes, there is actually lack of medical facilities in our country, we all know. And yes, health sectors includes doctors, nurses, compounders, etc. And if they are less in our country, where the population is so much, then obviously it will have a negative impact on people's life. Yes, the people, yes, often suffer from various diseases. The reason, yes, again, unavailability of nutritive food, and yes, if balanced diet, if a person is not taking, then it will negatively affect the person's immunity. And on the other side, the income is less, medical facilities are also not available, so it is but natural that many people will be deprived of such services. They won't be able to get such services, they won't be able to afford, in fact. Now in the developing countries, every 6,000 population, one doctor is available, whereas among the developed countries, every 350 people, service of one doctor is available. So over here there is far difference. Improvement in medical facilities is required over here. Now in developing countries, every year 1.7 crore people die from diarrhea, malaria and TB. In the whole world, 2.3 crore people are suffering from AIDS. Out of this, 90% belong to developing countries. It means we can say that many people, maximum people, belong to developing countries. So developing countries need to improve their medical facilities. Now our next indicator is drinking water. Yes, drinking water, we all know it is good for our health, but over here it says that health of a population is very much connected to drinking water and the facilities of cleanliness. Yes, we all know the importance of cleanliness. Now as per the census report of 2011, in our country 63.3% families get pure drinking water through treated sources. Yes, getting pure drinking water, that to many people in a developing country, is a good sign, but yes, there are many who are unable to get it. 8.67% families get untreated tap water, whereas 26% people get water from other sources like well, hand pumps, tube wells, etc. Now it is but natural, if the person is unable to get the pure drinking water, so it is obvious that the person will have polluted water, which will obviously affect his health, and because of which the waterborne diseases, he will be suffering from waterborne diseases, and hence make a problem of poverty more severe. Students, with this I'm done with my today's e-class. I'll continue with, yes, the indicators of poverty in my next e-class. Thank you, students.